This is your Daily 5 for Thursday, February 26th, 2026. As a somewhat random decision, only because I happened to be looking around for co-op games, and I happened to see that this game was deeply discounted, I suggested to Lando that we might want to take a chance on the remastered edition of a 2006 video game titled Gears of War. The remaster is titled Gears of War Reloaded. And I thought, okay, why not try this out? Because this is a game I remember the game series, everybody talking about. I remember seeing bits and pieces of it. I never played it because I've never had a Microsoft video game console, and probably never will, outside of a PC, of course. And so I never played the game, but I remember people liking it. There were several made, and it got a really nice remastered edition. So I thought, okay, it was completely and is completely playable for the campaign. So I thought, okay, this is going to be a simpler game. It's 20 years old, but let's try it out. So I told Lando it was on sale, like I said, at a deep discount. So we picked it up and we've been playing it. Now, I don't know if we're necessarily in a position to review it yet, but I did want to talk about this game in the kind of overall approach. This game, again, it is 20 years old. It's from 2006. Now, as far as the gameplay goes, I really have nothing negative to say. It is a solid cover shooter. In fact, I remember this game making its name on being one of the first really good cover shooters. And you can tell that the bones of what we play often in video games when it comes to this type of mechanic are there. So I understand that part. Holds up fine. The actual visuals are very good. The remaster is very well done. The environments are very varied. I will say that. You go from one place to another, so you never really feel bored. It has a lot of different visual vibrancy to it. Sound design is pretty good. But, oh boy, when it comes to the characters, the story, and the design of the main leads, this may be, and I say this positively, one of the stupidest things that I have ever encountered. But I say that with every bit of affection, because if it were not this dumb in every central way, as far as, again, the design of the lead characters, which look like these characters are so massively overinflated that you could be led to believe that the reason that they are on this planet and so angry is because they are under constant, what's the word for it? Under constant allergy attack, where their bodies just keep inflating, that they are having inflammatory responses so grotesque and utterly painful that they have to take out their frustration and anger over this pain on every other life form around them. On top of that, like I said, the visuals are just a knockout in terms of their design. They are almost completely separate from the rest of the game, which has much better and more realistic design work. Their dialogue absolutely sounds like a couple of 13-year-olds in a basement wrote it giggling to each other about how smart they were and how all their other male friends were going to find this material. It is ridiculous. The story itself, as far as what the narrative is, Lando and I, neither of us could tell you. It is incomprehensible. It starts after 16 years after some conflict happened. We have no idea what we're doing in the story. We're just going where the thing points us. It's very, very linear, so there's really no choices to be made. And neither of us knows what's going on, but we don't care because the gameplay itself, as I said, very, very solid and enjoyable, and it does change and vary up what's going on. And we are just laughing hysterically at how stupid this game is. I am recording it. I had a hunch that one way or another there will be something worth capturing out of this game. I just didn't expect it to be this. So, Gears of War Reloaded. Look, if you're coming in expecting a mindful, intentional, intellectual story that is attempting to tell the human stories of being in an alien environment and how we have to reckon with the beast within, among others who inflict beastly acts upon us, throw that out! You're going to get none of that. All you're going to be doing is shooting things and honestly marveling at the fact that this, at one time, was the cutting-edge design language of this video game series. It drastically changed later, I have looked into and found out, so it did not stay this way for long. But like I said, for a deep discount, Gears of War Reloaded, if you just want to have a fun time laughing at stupidity while playing a perfectly competent game, you know what? In all honesty, you could do a lot worse. Later.